Hope y'all are having a great day, morning time, and I'm doing well. Just getting things started here, and I figured we got some new people here today, and so we'll do a quick little intro. We'll do name and pronouns and organization, and I did this the other day. What are you seeing? What's some like early signs of spring that you're seeing that's making you excited around the your part of the world. And so my name's Andrew. I work for the Oregon Community Food Systems Network, um, coordinator for this working group and several others, and project managing the Farmer and Rancher Disaster Resilience Grant that OCFSN is administering right now. And he, him pronouns, and been excited to see my raspberry bushes starting to just poke some leaves out, which has been really pumped. We have like a ritual in the morning when it's raspberry season where we get my daughter out of the house by bribing her with raspberries, which is effective. So yeah, and we'll just do a round robin passing it to the next folks. And so Heidi.
Hi, Heidi Nordyke. I use she, her pronouns, and I work with OSU Small Farms Program up in the Portland metro area. And I mean, last week I was really excited about spring and just looking at some of the buds starting to fatten up a little more on the fruit trees in my yard. But yesterday was, yeah, it was like, oh, look, there's some like flurries, some little bit of snow happening. So now a little rest back into winter. But yeah, I'm looking forward to fruit also this summer. And I will pass it to Stephanie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie Payne. I'm with NRCS and the Urban Conservationist serving the Portland metro area. And let's see. So we moved here in July from Central Oregon. So I am trying to learn a bunch of new plant species because it's more than just juniper that grows out here. And so there's these flowers popping up in my yard, and I asked a neighbor, and it's called snowdrop, and they're just beautiful. And I didn't even realize that things grew and bloomed in February over on this side, and it's just gorgeous to see. So. Oh, and I have to pass to the next person. Andrea.
Was that me? Yeah, thank you. Andrea Kramer, Education Program Director, Oregon Agricultural Trust, she, her pronouns. I'm excited to see a little bit more green in my pastures. So that's always nice to see that popping back up again. And look forward to a little bit more sunshine because that's necessary for life. I did want to share that Tara Olson's not going to be joining us today. She is actually hanging out at the Capitol advocating for OHB. So she will miss today's meeting, but we'll make sure she gets the recording. So I'll pass to Chantel.
Hey everyone, Chantel Welch, she, her pronouns with American Farmland Trust. Currently living up in northwestern Washington, and it is snowing sideways today. So that was an unexpected change, and I was really nervous when I saw everything starting to bud out in my backyard. Like, it's too soon, go back under. So I'm hoping things can weather whatever weather we're experiencing the next week and start coming out a little bit later in the spring. And I will hand it to Andy.
Good morning. I'm Andy Smith, High Desert Food and Farm Alliance out in Bend in Central Oregon, and we got like 4 inches of snow yesterday, but as you can see, the sun is out today, so I'm really excited about that. And yesterday, before the snow came, it was gorgeous, and I actually saw the first signs of our tulips coming out in our yard, which I always forget that we have those here. And yeah, it was very scary on the roads yesterday. So Chantal, I hope it clears up there. I'll pass it over to Nate.
Hi, I'm Nate Stacy. I'm with the Small Farms Program and with OSU, and I am 9 days into my job, so I'm new. Thank you. And I moved from Seattle down here, so we are still unpacking. So I haven't really paid attention to outside yet. We're still getting out of boxes, but we have 3 raised beds in our front yard, and we lived in a condo in Seattle. So we are excited to have some like space to actually grow something. So it's nice to meet you all. And I will throw it to Kate.
Yeah, thanks. And also, sorry, I didn't realize that I wasn't muted for the first minute we were on the call. I apologize. I hate that ambient noise in the background. So sorry. I'm Kate Curley. I use they, them pronouns. I am farmer training program manager at Rogue Farm Corps. And I am currently looking at a wet and rainy pasture, something that I always get excited about at my own farm here in the Willamette Valley, is when we start to transition from winter swamp into lush spring pasture that I can start moving my animals around in. But I have been, while we're still in the winter wet swamp phase, I've been enjoying hearing the frogs again out there in the little vernal pools. I also look forward to those vernal pools disappearing so that I can get my pasture rotation on. And let's see, have we heard from Elizabeth?
Hi, everyone. I see some very recognizable faces on this call. My name is Elizabeth Dean. I am the Education Program Manager here at Oregon Tilth. I'm a hobby gardener and farmer, and I planted it somewhat ambitiously. I have some raised beds, and I planted some what I would consider cover crops, and they've sprouted, but then it got way too cold, and so they have all died. So just taking it day by day here in Portland.
Derek, I think.
Yeah, so my name is Derek. I'm a farm loan officer out of Malheur County, Oregon, with the Farm Service Agency. I'm currently on detail. I'm working with the national office to do the Inflation Reduction Act payments for all of our direct borrowers. So there's a whole bunch going on. As for spring out here, it's green. It's a whole lot greener than I ever thought it would be on Valentine's Day. So it was fun to go out there with the wife yesterday and hang out in that a little bit. It's wet too, but you can't have everything go your way. But you know how that works. It's nice to meet you all.
And then Tatiana.
Hi all. So sorry my camera's not working, but you're not missing much. I'm with the Tualatin Soil and Water Conservation District. I use she, her pronouns. I'm thinking I'm most excited. I saw the daffodils poking their heads out, and they actually, in my neighborhood, had started before we even got the real nasty stuff, like a couple weeks ago or a month ago. So they're on their way, maybe a little prematurely, but they're here.
Great. Yeah, cool. We're getting there, and really appreciate y'all being here today. So I wanted to just give some quick updates. With OCFSN, the network here that holds these spaces for folks doing this work all across the network, different things, and this is y'all's space for beginning farmer rancher work, and just some things that we're doing here. Our disaster resilience grants are still live for another couple of weeks. They close March 1st. Thanks everyone for getting the word out. Definitely been seeing in applicants. We have a question in our application about where they heard about the grant, and folks throughout the network have been really awesome about getting the word out, and people are mentioning that in the big farmers are mentioning that in their applications. So thank you so much for getting the word out. It's interesting. We have, and I'm interested to hearing some thoughts on this real quick. We have about 51 applications submitted so far, which is less than we expected. And we're learning from we do a lot of, we have a grants email, and we do a lot of phone calls with the applicants to help them with their applications. And we're learning that we've definitely identified some struggles with this specific population of small farmers that are targeted with this grant. We've targeted folks who have $350,000 or less gross income from products sold, and we're also requiring that they have a Schedule F to prove that they are in this like range of small farmers, and also to show that that Schedule F shows that we're not getting larger farms applying, but then also that they're actually a farm business and selling products, and we're not granting significant amount of money to folks who have homesteads or that kind of thing. We're getting a lot of questions on that side of the spectrum too. So that being said, we are learning that this population of small farmers often don't have these tax documents, or are unable to prove this income, which is we're finding why we're getting less applications. So we're moving forward with our current program as it's designed, but we will likely be changing it up for the next round. There's 2 rounds to kind of open it up and make sure that we're hitting the population of farmers that we're trying to serve here. So just some reporting there on that grant program, and would love to, if anyone has any thoughts on that. You're a group of experts who work with this group of farmers, so would like to open it up if anyone has any thoughts or questions about the program, or if you've heard anything from producers who are interested in applying.
All I will say is that from experience, I tend to get all applications at the end from
Yeah.
grants, so I wouldn't be surprised if there was a big rush in the last week or so.
Yeah, that's we are expecting that, but we were expecting like between 100 and 150 applications. So we are low still. And it's not like the word hasn't gotten out there. All the partners have put it out there. So
Andrew, with the last disaster relief funding that came through those grants, were Schedule F, was that a requirement?
yeah, they needed to prove that they had losses. So there was a financial requirement. It's also, so there's that component. Like, yes, there was that. And we had, for that entire grant program, over 3 rounds, we had 108 applicants. So 1 round, 50. Like, we're getting more per round for sure. But it's also a different program. Relief, proving losses, and then they get a check to spend the money on whatever they want. This is a resilience grant,
right,
where they're getting a project focused money. And so it's a different beast as far as also like what folks are applying for and how it's administered. So there's that component as well. How many applicants do you get for your grant, Andy?
The last 2 years it's been about 30, and the year before that it was 45 or ish.
Okay.
But our reporting or our application requirements are pretty minimal.
Pretty low, yeah.
As for that.
Smaller grants too. Yeah. Great.
Yeah, it's like 3,000, 4,000.
Cool. We also have a food hub grant. This isn't really the right place for that. But OCFSN is administering that. If you know folks who are involved in the aggregation distribution side who are interested in getting some funding for equipment and infrastructure, we have that going right now. And then we want to just recommend that folks sign up for the the Northwest and Rocky Mountain Regional Food Business Center website. They have a newsletter sign up, and there's that link in the notes that they just sent out one of their first emails. I joined since I've joined it, and there's a ton of information in there. I haven't even had a chance to look through all of it. So there's some resources there that folks should be clued in on, and there will be more coming in the future. So that's that. And been getting all sorts of updates on funding resources from folks. I'm going to be sharing another. I got one from some folks out of the new what was it? Some new hires in the Beaver Creek Center, FSA folks on resilience or on relief programs, disaster assistance programs. And they've got a new document for this year that's got outlines all that I'll be sending to the group. So there's some good stuff there. Our working group is going to be convening in this year. We're thinking mid-May, and I'll be sending a survey out to folks if folks want to join us about timing and location. It'll probably be in the Corvallis area. and just like a survey on what folks are appreciative of this space and what they would like to see more of, and all that. So look for that in an update that I'll send out to the group. Just a heads up there. And then the legislative session is active right now in Oregon, and I also support that policy working group. And just a heads up that things like land use and canola protections in the Willamette Valley and Oregon Ag Heritage Program that Tara's out advocating for is all in play this session, short session, and that ends in the early March. So if you're interested in any of that, I can direct you to some resources. But that's what I got today for y'all, and wanted to just open it up to you all. And basically, I'm thinking today is like, what's going on? What are your plans? What are you working on for 2024 in your BFR work, and things you want to get out to the partners? And so we have this notes document here. Feel free to start adding, and I'll take notes as folks are talking, but I'm gonna just do a round robin if that sounds good. Oh, welcome, Lourdes. Welcome to the crew. Yeah, our next meeting is could be coincide with our convening. Thanks, Kate. So let's just jump in here. Does anyone feel like starting us off?
I don't mind starting off. On the
Great.
FSA front, one thing that's cool and one thing that's new for this year is we've got online applications. So it's not necessarily a grant. It's not something to help with disasters or anything like that. But we do have the ability now, I think, to make the application itself and FSA financing a little bit more accessible through the online application. So I'll drop a link to that in the chat here. We're always trying to do something new, and the truth is when we do something new, we got to learn how to do it right. So there'll be some hiccups in it if anybody does go to apply, but it's a good opportunity again for folks that may not have ample access to a local county office to get some financing. So.
I just wanted to share really briefly, not necessarily specific to the Tualatin Soil and Water Conservation District, but just for this because it seemed like a good spot. In the 2022 Ag Farm Census was just released, and I was reading a article through the Capitol Press, and they mentioned that about 22,000 Oregon farmers had 10 or fewer years of service, fewer years of experience, which was a 14% increase from the 2017 ag census. And at the beginning, farmers had an average age of 48, which I thought was interesting, but figured I'd share that. Thanks, guys.
I can go next since I have typed in my notes there. Programmatic updates are that in the fall, we put a lot of energy into outreach to expand our host farm sites for our apprenticeship program. And we were very successful. We now have 28 host farm partner sites in 2023. And that is super exciting.
Sorry about that.
Because it means that we have additional apprenticeship training opportunities open for folks. So in 2023, we had 17 available training positions, and this year, 26 available positions in 2023, and this year we have 41. So very exciting. We've also expanded back into the Willamette Valley, which wasn't an area of the state that we had been active in for the past several years. And now we have 8 new host farm sites there. So pretty proud of that and excited to share it. Our Regenerative Farming Fellowship is moving forward for a second year, and we're expanding that project to a full 4 acres at Sorek down there in Central Point, and continuing to work with our nonprofit farming partners at the Family Nurturing Center which is a organization that serves families with young children in Central Point, Medford, Ashland area. And then in terms of funding, I will mention that we are working on a grant to pursue funds to start doing some preliminary research to see about need to establish an additional fellowship farm, perhaps in the Portland metro area.
Great. Are others
Check.
applying? Thank you. Are others applying for that PSF? We've heard about their groups across the network, but I don't know about in this space. Cool.
I
Would
can
like-
jump in here, Andrew, with just a couple of quick updates. I think maybe some of you know that OAT has been in the process of hiring a one-on-one succession advisor, which we have successfully done so, and she will be starting with us next week. So we'll be looking for more on that. Her name is Tess, and we're really excited to have her. We'll have her just 3 days a week to begin with, but super excited to have Tess on board to launch that program with OAT. Secondly, some of you hopefully are on our newsletter list and saw that we are launching our multimedia series. The videos have been coming out the last, let's see, 2 weeks. I think we have the succession one out last week and then the easement one out this week. So be looking for those and feel free to share those around. And just for all of you who know our executive director, Nellie, she is out on maternity leave for the next 3 months. She has abandoned us. So we're all, feeling the pain of that, but we feel she'll come back. So congratulations to her. That's all I've got.
Thanks. Could you just put a link in the chat for the multimedia stuff? We'll put that in the notes, if you don't mind. Thanks. Cool.
Sorry about that. I'll actually just put a link straight to our website, and then it'll that's where they're all launch.
Thanks.
I can go next with some updates from Small Farms program up here in the metro area and beyond from OSU. So in March, there's going to be a spring livestock webinar series that Haley White is organizing with partners with Clackamas SWCD and Polk SWCD. So I think that'll be, really good to have. I put a link in the meeting notes there. And then the Farm Direct bill that was amended in 2023. There have been a series of workshops that have happened throughout the state, and Kelly Street from Family and Community Health, she has submitted an update to the flowchart publication that the OSU publication has. So that when that comes out, that will be in English and Spanish both. And I think there'll be continued education on requirements for the Farm Direct exemption for processed products and food safety trainings there. And then up here at the North Willamette Research and Extension Center in Aurora, this summer, we're going to have a reduced tillage field day for all scales of food production. And that planning is still in process. We're going to have a roundtable at the Small Farms Conference this weekend to help inform there. And then just to save the date, Small Farm School in Oregon City is September 11th. We're going to start planning that next month. And then, we're having some dry farm meetups. One's happening here on February 29th, because how often do you get to schedule a meeting for February 29th? And those are the updates that I have right now. Thanks. Oh, and Tatiana is on here also. There is going to be, we're going to have a out at PCC Rock Creek, a small farm school, not as big as the one in Oregon City. That's going to have more of a livestock focused, and I'll look up the date and put that in the chat there. And that's in partnership with the Tualatin SWCD, Portland Community College, Rock Creek, their vet tech program, and then OSU Small Farms.
I can hop in. So I am here and representing, Will Fett is our NRCS beginning farmer rancher. I don't know if his official title coordinator. He wears a couple different hats up here, but he's at the state office and he's fairly new, but I think he's been on board for the last 6 months or so now. He couldn't make it today. He couldn't make it today, but I just wanted to pass along some updates about some beginning farmer rancher stuff happening over at NRCS. We are doing some outreach. I'll be at the small farm conference this weekend and also the farm to school conference the day before on Friday. Let's see. So around this time, at the beginning of the year, NRCS holds our local working group meetings. We hold these across in every county, and we like to get the word out about them and encourage producers to show up because it's an opportunity to get input from farmers and ranchers and partners to figure out where to direct NRCS funding with our local fund pools and how to shape our long range plans. And I put a link in the chat after I'm done talking that has a page that has all the different local working group meetings and the dates. I think some have already happened, but most of them are happening this month and next. I'm holding the first ever Portland Metro local working group meeting on February 23rd. It's a Friday from 1 to 3 over at the Hillsdale Library. It's hybrid, so there's a Zoom option as well. And we have a program deadline coming up. Our Conservation Stewardship Program, also known as CSP, has an application deadline of March 29th. This historically has been a program that hasn't really appealed to small acre producers, but this year, new is they've upped the annual minimum payment. So it's a 5-year contract, and every year there's an annual payment that a farmer can receive if they have a CSP contract. It went from $1,500 to $4,000. So over the course of a 5-year contract, that's $20,000. CSP is a beast of a program. I'm happy to walk anybody through it. I won't get into the details here, but just know that it's March 29th. This is a little tricky for beginning farmer ranchers because there is a land eligibility requirement in that it has the land, not necessarily the producer, but the land has to have been in production at least 4 out of the last 6 years. But we consider beginning farmer ranchers anyone farming or ranching under 10 years. So there's still some BFRs that could qualify under the CSP program. But if anybody has questions about that, just let me know. I'm gonna shoot some links in the chat about all that stuff. So that's about it.
Awesome. Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Will's been super connected. We met and he's shared lots of resources that I forward onto the group. So that's been great to have him on board.
I'll go next. I can go next.
Thanks for being here. Good to see you.
My name is Catherine Minthorn. I'm an enrolled member of the Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation in Eastern Oregon. I'm the Associate Director for Technical Assistance, Intertribal Agriculture Council. We do have a staff person responsible for Oregon and Idaho Technical Assistance Specialist, Lori Galloway. And we have worked pretty close with Will since last fall. When he came on, he's also the tribal liaison for Oregon NRCS. Intertribal Agriculture Council is a nonprofit organized in 1987, and we do technical assistance and outreach for USDA. We have a contract with USDA's Office of Tribal Relations.
Are you there? Or was that your update?
This is my first meeting. I've never been here before.
Yeah.
Better
What
introduce myself.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Any programming that you're developing or working on this year with native producers? Is there anything to highlight?
We
with
are currently training with, it's not FSA or NRCS, with rural development for the upcoming value-added producer grants that close at the end of March. So that's what we're concentrating on right now. We have upcoming trainings with both FSA and NRCS. We've got almost a brand new staff across the board. We're a nationwide organization. There's only about 4 or 5 that have more than a year of experience. The rest of them came on from June until this past Monday. So the majority of the staff are all brand new.
And you're training with World Development for which specific grant? Sorry, I missed that.
Value-added producer.
That's what I thought. Okay, great. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Is there a lot of people from FSA on here?
Derek joins us from FSA. Yeah.
Oh, I'm on the FSA state committee as well.
Yeah, how you doing, Catherine? It's good to see you on.
Good to see you.
Great. Any other updates?
Yeah, I can jump in, and Andrew already dropped all of this in the notes document. But we have learning circles coming up in Oregon for a few different projects, highlighting there will be one focused on urban agriculture in Portland in April, in collaboration with OSU Small Farms. That one is specifically for veteran farmers who are women or non-binary. So if you want any information on that, let me know and I can share that out. We're also offering a series of projects around water resilience. So there will both be learning circles that are farmer rancher focused on specific topics under that broad umbrella of water resilience, and in partnership with the Dry Farming Institute, some demonstration farms will be hosting broader on-farm demonstrations to show, again, things like cover cropping. They're doing soil testing, and those will start this summer. So very high level synopsis, but if any of that is relevant to your audience, let me know and I can share more details there. And we also are doing some succession work. We're a bit more focused in Washington and definitely collaborating with OAT for anything in Oregon, and being very mindful of the work that y'all are doing down there. We are doing a workshop in Northeast Oregon with a group of ranchers that we've been working with for a couple of years, and that'll be broader, highlighting some succession practices. So can share that out when we have a bit more detail around. Just wanted to note that. And Andrea, really excited that you hired for that position, and looking forward to meeting Tess.
Hi, I can go next. Lourdes Herencia. Sorry, I didn't reply before. I was coming back from another meeting. I'm from Adelante Mujeres, Director of Micro Enterprise, and I can talk to you guys a little bit about the regenerative agriculture program that we have. We used to have 2 programs, regenerative agriculture and empresas. Now we have a 3rd program, which is market access. Through regenerative agriculture, we have 2 courses that are starting right now in March. They're both in Spanish, Mondays and Fridays. Right now we are registering participants. They're going to be held in Forest Grove and in Hillsborough, and we're going to have 2 more later on in the year. As you guys, I don't know if you guys know, but we are in charge of 2 farmers markets in Cornelius and in Forest Grove. The season's coming up, so we have everything open right now for vendor registration, and we're just programming around that. We have a lot of activities and celebrations throughout the year, so that's something that we can, if you guys are interested, I can certainly send you information. And as part of our regenerative agriculture, we are introducing the new element, which is land access. And right now we are acquiring or securing a piece of land so we can promote regenerative agriculture to our participants, or to our Latino community participants. It's a project that's still in development, but soon, hopefully, we will have good news and we will have the land accessible for the Latino community. Having said that, we are actually going to be in the next couple of weeks opening 2 new roles. I'm looking for a new regenerative agriculture and land access manager, as well as a regenerative agriculture assistant. We are building out this new program, so I will send you our job descriptions. If you guys know anyone that would be interested in working with us, we would love to have them. And finally, we are organizing, so you can put in your calendar, Dia del Agricultor Latino, and that's going to be in October. This year it was last year, sorry, it was in June. This time we're doing it in October because we are conscious that there are a lot of events that happen in the summer, so we just wanted to accommodate it better to our partners' schedule. And yes, I will be there this Saturday. For all of you that are going to be at this Small Farms Conference, I will definitely be there, so I'm looking forward to seeing you in person.
Amazing. Thanks, Lourdes. That's so exciting that y'all are moving forward with the land purchase. That's huge. Very, very cool. Congratulations. Sage has been active in the group, and we're very happy to share out any jobs that you are looking for on our job board, or you're hiring. And also thanks for all of Adelante Mujeres' work on promoting the disaster resilience grants. We've had several applicants apply in Spanish, which has been great.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, Sage, it's Sage's birthday today, so she's not here. She's taking the day off.
Yeah, good. Very
That's why
good.
she's not. And yeah, we have a huge support from our board of directors, and they decided to move forward with this. So here we are, hopefully with good news soon.
Very cool.
I can go next. I wrote in some notes, just also for my own benefit. As I mentioned earlier, this is our 3rd year of our on-farm efficiency grant in its current form. We've done funding in a variety of ways since 2018, but it's really exciting that we've been able to offer it over the years. But I am looking to see how we can make it more sustainable outside of just a private donor, supplemented with a USDA grant. But it's hard to find funding for pass-through funds, so that's always an exploration for me. We are closing out our Beginning Farmer Ranger Development Program grant this year, which is the vast majority of our current programming. So we are figuring out what that next step is, and one piece to that is we had an action plan that was done before my time in this role, but it essentially laid out 4 years of programming, mostly in alignment with the BFRDP that we have. But I'm excited to be able to do something similar to that again, not with COVID restrictions, and to be able to do those kinds of things in person and update them. We probably have a lot of changes in water, how we view water, and priorities with that, for example. So I think having an updated and new document for that will be really exciting to really make sure we're meeting needs of farmers in our area in Central Oregon. And then mentioned the Central Oregon Small Farm School. I'm working with a group of people. Heidi, I don't know how, and if you are aware of this at all, but our OSU extension team out here, we're hosting it for the first year in Central Oregon at the Central Oregon Ag Show. And we're working with the Deschutes Soil and Water Conservation District and a couple of other organizations to host it. And we'll try and figure out how this works, and we'll see. But I think having something regionally in Central Oregon is going to be really cool, because I've been hearing over the years that they love the Small Farms Conference, but they don't like traveling over there. So yeah. And then the last thing that's kind of fun is we're bringing 2 farmers from Central Oregon to Salem to talk to our representatives, which is the first time that I've been involved in something like that. So I'm really excited, because it is a hard lift for farmers to make it out to Salem in February. This is like kind of a really busy prep time of year for everybody, but making that 3-hour drive, leaving families and day jobs, and being able to talk to our representatives is a really important thing, because our needs out here are pretty different than the rest of the state. So that's kind of what we've got going on. Plenty of things though.
That's awesome. Yeah, look forward to seeing your new action plan and updated action plan. And we're here to help if you want to brainstorm on future federal funding. You know, you're part of the CAF project, and we've got a couple other BFRDPs, so happy to help you think that through. Cool. I think we got some newer folks who are just here listening. Feel free to just like, if you want to go into any more depth on your work or any vision you have for 2024, any collaborative project. It sounds like y'all work together. We're just here providing space as needed. So
I could actually share a couple updates. It
Great.
is my first meeting, but I'm Silket Ra from the North Coast Food Web in Astoria on the coast. And sorry, just one sec. We have somebody got the phone. Okay, great. Couple updates for us. So we are currently working on a coastal farming guide with some of our local farmers here. We got some grant funding from OSU. And we want to make provide a resource that's going to help newer farmers here on the coast with kind of the particulars of the area and the microclimates kind of we experience here. And then so that is kind of, we're just in the beginning of collecting information at this point, and then through the kind of spring and summer, we hope to get that collected from some farmers, some ranchers, and then do some editing and involve them in the process with that as well, so we can make sure that the language and the voice is as close to, all from them as we can get. And then we hope to release that this fall. So that's pretty exciting. And then also next week on Tuesday, we are having a local food link event where we're having farmers, ranchers, value-added producers come and hopefully make connections with some of our local wholesale buyers. We're just trying to keep more of that food here in our local system. And so we're excited to have kind of a number of farmers coming to that. So, and then I'm also working on part of the CAF grant. So that's going to be starting kind of in March, and just excited to see what happens with that. So.
Great. Thanks. Okay. Yeah, the capital access for local farmers is a RFSP that was awarded for members of the working group led by Friends of Family Farmers to bring service providers together with funding partners to learn more about funding opportunities and how to better create resources for the producers they work with to access those capital assets. So there were our first kind of kickoff meeting is March 1st. And FOF has hired the coordinator for that, and things are rolling. So that's really exciting. Righteous. Okay, y'all. Well, we'll have a convening coming up here. We'll be sharing the outcomes of our disaster resilience granting program and looking to connect with you all in person and having some fun chatting. And Heidi, your hand's raised.
Yeah, I just want to say, like Tatiana brought up, that the 2022 Ag Census was just released. So, looking forward to, as people get summaries and information on that. Usually there's like reports for the state and for each county that come out. I think that will be beneficial in, upcoming grant applications and other things. So that's all.
Great. Well, thanks, y'all. Keep up the great work. We're here. Use the list if you need to reach out to folks. Share things with me if you need to, and I can get it out to the right people or make some connections. And we'll see you around. We'll see lots of you on Saturday at the conference. Cool. See you later.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Andrew.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.